Okay, let's begin.
Okay. We're going to start now. Good morning and welcome to the first ever online celebration of our Republic Day. Before we begin, let us bow our heads in silence for a few seconds to acknowledge the efforts and sacrifices made by our freedom fighters, those who helped set up the Constitution, and our brave fellow men who laid down their lives so that we can enjoy the fruits of their brave efforts this Republic Day. Okay. I am Anishka Agarwal, the Cultural Secretary of the college for the year, and it's an honor to welcome all of you on behalf of the college, the extracurricular committee, and the student council here today. To begin with us, we have our very own principal, Dr. Rajendra Shinde, our vice principals, we have our faculty members, our fellow Xavierites, and all of our cultural performers for the day. A big hello to all of you watching the live stream on YouTube as well. I now welcome you to the second ever online flag ceremony. Who would have thought we'd still be celebrating at home after Independence Day the way we did? Today, our principal, along with Father Keith, unfurled the flag in college. The video to which we have with us today, and I'll be playing it. The video quality is a little wonky because it was taken on a camera of a phone. So please bear with us if you cannot hear that clearly. I now request you to please stand up and join in when they're singing the national anthem as well.
May I request other rector come and unfold the flag? Sing the national anthem. My dear friends, we are proud to gather together on this important day when we remember an important event in the history of our nation, of our country. We have a very beautiful constitution and the preamble to the constitution, very short text. I would invite all of you to read that very short text and meditate over it. There are very beautiful values, the preamble to our constitution. The preamble, it says something very beautiful. It says that we, the people of India, firmly resolve to secure four important values. The first value is justice. The second is liberty. Third is equality. The fourth one, which I'd like to dwell upon a little more, is fraternity. Because fraternity, in some sense, will enable justice, liberty, and equality to flourish in our country. We have to secure, how do we resolve to secure these values and to promote fraternity? We secure fraternity, we can promote fraternity. If you look at the small sentence which is associated with fraternity, it says two very important things which gives us an idea of how to promote fraternity. One is to assure the dignity of the individual person, to assure the dignity of the individual. And the second is to promote the unity of the nation, of the country. These two aspects are important. Why are they important? You know,
अरे म्यूट है.
there are people of various castes, there are people of various faiths, there are people of various classes, people who are fortunate, some who are less fortunate. And when we can assure the dignity of the individual, that means we don't look up to people too much, we don't look down upon people too much. However, people, however important they are, however their social status and standing is, we don't look up to them too much. Why? It's not because we don't respect their positions and their responsibilities. We worship the Almighty and the Creator. But the responsibility of those who are more fortunate, is also to help those who do not have. Those who are somehow of a lesser social standing, whether that is of caste, of class, or because of some fortune or misfortune or the other. So when we have that sense of fellow feeling, another way to describe fraternity is fellow feeling. That takes me to the second point about the nation. How happy and proud are we to belong to this nation? To say that we are Indians. I think that is important. To say that I am proud to be an Indian. That means I am proud of the achievements of our country. I am also aware of the difficulties and the challenges and the weaknesses, and those are many, as you can see. And in every decade since the time we have gained independence, there have been challenges, but we have surmounted those. So how do we promote the unity of the country? See, in spite of our country being richly blessed with many cultures and religions, the preamble, this is of the unity of the nation of the country. Sort of almost bypassing those other things which could be a cause of division. Focus on we the people who constitute this nation. Never mind which religion we adhere to, which social community we belong to, which state we come from. Can we transcend those things to have a collective consciousness? I'm happy to have that collective consciousness. Whether we are poor, whether we are rich, whether we are sick, or whether we are healthy. So can we those of us who are fortunate, those of us who have more, can we help those of us who do not have, in whatever sphere? Can we have a sense of fellow feeling, a sense of belongingness? That I belong to this country and others also belong, and I have therefore an obligation to respond to affirm their dignity as an individual, whether they are lowly or whether they are well placed in society. A sense of equanimity is in the frontier, a sense of social equanimity. Secondly, about the unity of the country to transcend all our differences and be a great nation. We have a tremendous opportunity. There are very few countries like India which are blessed with such a variety. So let us demonstrate to the world also that it is possible to live according to this value of fraternity. It is possible to foster, promote fraternity. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
I hope we all felt a little bit at home after watching a video that was taken in our college. So, law and order exists for the purpose of establishing justice. And when they fail in this purpose, they become these dangerously structured dams that block the flow of social progress. Our defense is not in our arms nor in science, nor in going underground. Our defense is in law and order. We cannot expect people to have respect for law and order until we teach respect to those we have entrusted to enforce these laws. There cannot be any prosperity without law and order. Words by great personalities over the vast course of time. What makes a nation the world's biggest democracy is personalities over the vast course of time. What makes a nation the world's biggest constitution? And today happens to be the day when the Constitution of India, the largest written constitution in the whole wide world, was put into action. The day our country became a republic sovereign nation. In these trying times when the meaning of true republic is being rewritten, we have stumbled upon yet another reminder that constantly punches our memories awake to remember what a true republic country is. On that note, I'd like to welcome all of you to this auspicious event of celebrating the memory of one of the many greatest achievements of our forefathers. With that being said, I would now like to call upon our principal, Dr. Rajendra Shinde, to address all of us present here today.
Very good morning to all of you. नमस्कार. संत जेवियर्स स्वायत्त महाविद्यालय के ऐतिहासिक परिसर से सभी साझेदारों को मैं मैनेजमेंट की ओर से और मेरी ओर से इस गणतंत्र दिवस की हार्दिक बधाई और शुभकामनाएं देता हूं. आज का गणतंत्र दिन हमारे लिए काफ़ी खुशियां लेके आता है. मुझे खुशी इस बात की है कि पिछले ही वर्ष हमने कॉलेज की 150वीं जयंती मनाकर एक बड़े माइलस्टोन को पार किया है. इस अवसर पर हमने ट्रिपल आई, एकेडमिक इनोवेशन, पर्सनल इंटीग्रेशन और सोशल इंक्लूजन के मंत्र को अपनाया है. कोविड-19 की इस मेडिकल इमरजेंसी में भी हमने टीचिंग, लर्निंग और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के साथ साथ नैक के प्रिपरेशन का कार्य सुचारू रूप से जारी रखा है. हमें इस बात की प्रसन्नता है कि हमारे जूनियर कॉलेज, सीनियर कॉलेज और पीजी सेक्शन तीनों ने मिलकर ऑनलाइन एडमिशन से लेकर ऑनलाइन एग्जामिनेशन तक सारे एकेडमिक और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कार्यों को पूरा करके अपने एक अच्छे टीम वर्क का उदाहरण प्रस्तुत किया है. मैं इस अच्छे टीम वर्क के लिए अपने टीचिंग, नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ के साथ साथ स्टूडेंट्स और पेरेंट्स को भी बधाई देना चाहता हूं. हमारा कॉलेज जेजुएट परंपरा के पालन करते हुए स्टूडेंट्स को समग्र शिक्षण देने के लिए निरंतर प्रयत्नशील रहा है. विद्यार्थियों के मन, मस्तिष्क और शारीरिक विकास को ध्यान रखते हुए हम छात्र छात्राओं को विषम परिस्थितियों में जीने और उन्हें विश्व नागरिक बनाने के लिए सतत प्रयत्नशील रहते हैं. इस प्रकार हमारी जेजुएट संस्था के प्रमुख उद्देश्य छात्र छात्राओं को बहुआयामी व्यक्तित्व प्रदान करता है. हमारे विद्यार्थियों ने ऑनलाइन मोड में भी कई प्रकार की को करिकुलर और एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज में भाग लेकर उनमें अपनी सफलता के माध्यम से हमारी श्रेष्ठता सिद्ध की है. हमें दूसरी खुशी यह है कि हमारे कॉलेज के स्टैटिस्टिक्स डिपार्टमेंट और कई बायोलॉजिकल साइंस के पीजी डिपार्टमेंट्स को इस पैंडेमिक के दौरान डीबीटी ग्रांट मिली है. इस दौरान हमारे कॉलेज के कई एलुमनी उन्होंने राष्ट्रीय तथा अंतरराष्ट्रीय स्तर पर हमारे कॉलेज का नाम रोशन किया है. प्रोफेसर श्रीकांत दातार, जो हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी के बिजनेस स्कूल के डीन बन चुके हैं, उन्हें कल ही शाम को भारत सरकार ने पद्मश्री प्रदान की है. डॉक्टर अंतरा बैनर्जी ने इंसा मेडल ऑफ यंग साइंटिस्ट प्राप्त किया है। डॉक्टर यूसुफ हमीद के नाम पर कैम्ब्रिज यूनिवर्सिटी ने अपने एक विभाग का नाम रखा है और उन्हें चेयर प्रोफेसर का सम्मान दिया है। ऐसे कई नाम लिए जा सकते हैं। हमारे कॉलेज मैनेजमेंट ने रेक्टर फादर डॉक्टर कीथ डिसूजा की लीडरशिप में पैंडेमिक के दौरान अपनी सोशल कमिटमेंट को पूरा करते हुए धारावी के परिवारों को कई किलो राशन मुफ्त में वितरित किया। साथ ही अपने कॉलेज हॉल और कैंटीन एरिया में कई बेड्स लगवाकर पेशेंट्स के लिए रहने का प्रबंध किया। हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जेजुएट ट्रेडिशन और इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कई समानताएं दिखाई देती है। दोनों ही उपेक्षित वर्ग, दैट इज मार्जिनलाइज्ड सोसाइटी की चिंता करते हैं। भारतीय संविधान की सबसे बड़ी विशेषता यह है कि हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दुनिया का सबसे सुंदर, सबसे बड़ा और एक जीवंत संविधान है। भारतीय गणतंत्र की खूबसूरती इस बात पर है कि संविधान निर्माताओं डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर और संविधान सभा के सभी सदस्यों ने संविधान बनाते समय समाज के सभी वर्गों का, विशेष रूप से सामाजिक आर्थिक रूप से उपेक्षित वर्ग का ध्यान रखा है। इस तरह भारतीय संविधान हमारी सांस्कृतिक विविधता, अनेकता में एकता और अलग अलग विचारधाराओं से निर्मित एक गुलदस्ते की तरह है। इस गुलदस्ते से यदि एक भी फूल अलग होता है या अलग कर दिया जाता है तो गुलदस्ते का सौंदर्य नष्ट हो जाएगा। अतः हम इस सभी नागरिकों की यह जिम्मेदारी है कि हम अपने संविधान रूपी गुलदस्ते की रक्षा करें। इस गणतंत्र दिवस के अवसर पर हम देश की सुरक्षा करने वाले और शहीद होने वाले सैनिकों को सैल्यूट करते हैं। गणतंत्र दिवस के अवसर पर हम कोविड-19 के फ्रंट लाइन वर्कर्स को भी सलाम करते हैं। कोविड-19 की वैक्सीन बनाने वाले वैज्ञानिकों का भी सम्मान करते हैं, जिन्होंने पिछले कई महीनों तक दिन रात कार्य करते हुए वैक्सीन बनाकर मानवता की रक्षा की है। अंत में मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहता हूं कि जिस प्रकार हमने लॉकडाउन के दौरान ऑनलाइन मोड में अपनी जिंदगी की गाड़ी आगे बढ़ाई है, ठीक इसी तरह कुछ दिन और अनुशासन एवं संयम का पालन करते हुए, मास्क पहनते हुए, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का पालन करते हुए हमें मिलजुल कर काम करते रहना है और सावधानी से आगे बढ़ना है। इसी सकारात्मक सोच के साथ हम सभी गुरु रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर जी का मूल मंत्र का पालन करेंगे। चरई वेती गुरु जी ने कहा था। चलना ही जिंदगी है, क्योंकि बहती हुई नदी का जल शुद्ध होता है। जब नदी रुक जाती है तो तब पानी खराब होने लगता है। हमें नदी से प्रेरणा लेकर सतत आगे बढ़ना है। आइए हम सब मिलकर हमारे देश को आगे बढ़ाते हैं और आगे बढ़ते हैं। जय हिंद। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much for those inspiring words, sir. We will now begin with the cultural program that our students have worked so hard to put together for all of you. I hope you have a fantastic time. Our students have made do with all the resources they have in these trying times, or maybe now we can call them our normal times. But getting into it, first we have Siddhi from Humanities performing a song titled Tum Asha Vishwas Hamare. The lyricist is Narendra Sharma. The singer being Lata Mangeshkar, music director Hridayanath Mangeshkar. The movie that it is from is Subha 1982, and the source is Universal Music India Private Limited. So Siddhi, over to you.
Good morning, everyone, and a happy Republic Day to all of you. Is the Tanpura audible?
Yes, Siddhi.
Okay. And now the tabla?
Yes.
Okay, I'll now begin. नाम न जाने धाम न जाने जाने न सेवा पूजा जाने बस इतना अजान हम एक बिना नहीं दूजा नहीं दूजा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे तुम धरती आकाश हमारे तुम धरती आकाश हमारे रामा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे तात मात तुम बंधु भ्रात हो दिवस रात्रि संध्या प्रभात हो दीपक सूर्य चंद्र तारक में रामा तुम ही ज्योति प्रकाश हमारे रामा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे सांसों में तुम आते जाते एक तुम ही से है सब नाते सांसों में तुम आते जाते एक तुम ही से है सब नाते जीवन बन के हर पतझर में रामा एक तुम ही मधुमास हमारे रामा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे तुम ही सब में है तुम में सब तुम ही भव हो तुम ही रब अश्रु हमारे आँखों में तुम रामा तुम होठों पर हास हमारे रामा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे रामा हमारे दाता हमारे तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे तुम धरती आकाश हमारे तुम धरती आकाश हमारे रामा तुम आशा विश्वास हमारे धन्यवाद
Thank you so much, Shrishti. That was wonderful. No matter how many times we hear you sing, we still get goosebumps every time you do it.
Yes, Srishti, superb. What a melodious voice you have.
Okay. Moving on, next we have Shrishti, who will be presenting a composition she wrote herself for this occasion. So, Shrishti, over to you.
Hi everyone, a very happy Republic Day to you all. I, Srishti Kankriya, am pursuing Bachelor's of Mass Media from St. Xavier's Autonomous, Mumbai, with major in journalism. Today, with this sense of patriotism, I am going to be reciting a poem in front of you all. And here I go. Strength and courage, peace and truth, fertility and growth. Strength and courage, peace and truth, fertility and growth come out even stronger when Ashoka Chakra signifies that there is love in movement and death in stagnation. Born in this motherland, when it's you, I'll wear the khaki and go to war. When it's you, I'll not break and tear you apart. Instead, I'll manifest the bright sand on my shoulder and will make you the petals of phoenix because I know you are a flower. I know you are a flower made of different cultures, religions, sects. You are the vibrancy of use, the diversity, unity, the race, the gender. Everything is a bright, colorful poem. I don't want to delve into negatives, and I'm so naive that I vibe with positives only. But hey, don't call it as gullibility, name it as sticking to roots by loving the country so much. The soldiers, the farmers will forever be the foundation, part-time humans and full-time magic. I don't want a recitation with rhyme. All I know is that this country makes you feel like home. It's an embodiment. I also don't want to mention anecdotes, but all I know is if your story is framed by opinions, come out from the two dimensions, because cults are not framed, they are only felt. All I know is if your story is framed by opinions, come out from the two dimensions, because cults are not framed, they are only felt. Strength and courage, peace and truth, fertility and growth come out even stronger when Ashoka Chakra signifies that there is love in movement and death in stagnation. Thank you. Wishing you all a very happy Republic again.
Thank you so much, Shrishti, for that wonderful
Very nice,
poem that you've
Srishti.
written.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, for our third performance, we have Kia presenting a semi-classical performance. This song is one that emotionally connects to every Indian out there and can truly stir up the feeling of patriotism. Quoting Gulzar Sahab, this song speaks for all of us and it speaks without any prejudice. People keep asking what nationalism is all about. Well, one can define nationalism through this song. The song is by Arijit Singh, Shankar Mahadevan, Ehsan and Loy. The music label is Z Music Company and the choreography is by Sanika Purohit. So Kia, over to you.
Is the screen share enabled?
Yes, Kia, yes.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
वतन वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू वतन वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू वतन वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू मैं जहाँ रहूँ जहाँ मैं याद रहे तू मैं जहाँ रहूँ जहाँ मैं याद रहे तू वतन मेरे वतन वतन मेरे वतन तुझ पे कोई गम की आँच आने नहीं दूं तुझ पे कोई गम की आँच आने नहीं दूं कुर्बान मेरी जान तुझ पे शाद रहे तू कुर्बान मेरी जान तुझ पे शाद रहे तू, मैं वतन वतन मेरे आबाद रहे तू, मैं जहाँ रहूँ जहाँ मैं याद रहे तू, मैं वतन मेरे वतन मेरे वतन, मैं वतन मेरे वतन मेरे वतन।
Thank you and happy Republic Day.
Thank you so much, Kia. It was a wonderful performance. Now, next we have our very own Dr. Bhagwati Upadhyay, the head of the Hindi department, who will be performing a poetry titled Jai Bolo Anusandhan Ki.
धन्यवाद। सबसे पहले मैं आप सभी लोगों को भारतीय गणतंत्र दिवस की बधाई और शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और अपनी कविता प्रारंभ करता हूं। जय जवान जय किसान के संग अब बोलो जय विज्ञान की, विज्ञानी की जय बोलो अनुसंधान की। जय जवान जय किसान के संग अब बोलो जय विज्ञान की, विज्ञानी की जय बोलो अनुसंधान की। मेधातिथि ने अंक सिखाए, योग दिया पतंजलि ने, शालिहोत्र ने पशु चिकित्सा, कणवाद दिया कर्णाद ने। जीवक थे महान चिकित्सक, सुश्रुत थे शल्यक महान, चरक संहिता जानी पहचानी, आर्यभट्ट गणतज्ञ महान। जीवक थे महान चिकित्सक, सुश्रुत थे शल्यक महान, चरक संहिता जानी पहचानी, आर्यभट्ट गणितज्ञ महान। जय जवान जय किसान के संग अब बोलो जय विज्ञान की, विज्ञानी की जय बोलो अनुसंधान की। कृषि विज्ञानी खन को जानो, बाघ भट्ट के चिकित्सा ज्ञान को, ब्रह्मगुप्त के बीज गणित को, वराह मिहिर महान को। माधव कर चिकित्सा ज्ञानी को, चरक अनुगामी दृढ़ बल को, नागार्जुन के रसायन शास्त्र को, जानो वृंद महान को। भास्कर के गणित को जानो, भोज के जलपोत को, भाव मिश्र की चिकित्सा विधि को, जहांगीर के खगोल को। जय जवान जय किसान के संग अब बोलो जय विज्ञान की, विज्ञानी की जय बोलो अनुसंधान की। जय सिंह के खगोल को जानो और पठानी सामंत को, इंजीनियर सर गंगाराम को, जगदीश बोस महान को। जानो प्रफुल्ल रसायन शास्त्री को, विश्वेश्वरैया इंजीनियर को, गणेश प्रसाद के गणित ज्ञान को, वालिया के भूज्ञान को। रामानुज के गणित को जानो, वेंकटरामन के भौतिक ज्ञान को, बीरबल साहनी पुरातत्वी को, मेघनाथ साहा के ज्ञान को। सत्येंद्रनाथ बोस को जानो, भाभा के अणु ज्ञान को, भटनागर के चुंबकीय रसायन को, विक्रम सारा के अंतरिक्ष ज्ञान को। जय जवान जय किसान के संग अब बोलो जय विज्ञान की, विज्ञानी की जय बोलो अनुसंधान की। हरगोविंद की अनुवांशिकी को, अयोध्या नाथ के सिंचाई ज्ञान को, हरगोविंद की आनुवंशिकी को, अयोध्या नाथ के सिंचाई ज्ञान को, महालानोबिस की सांख्यिकी को, सालिम अली के पक्षी ज्ञान को। पंचानन माहेश्वरी के फूल पौधों को, कोठारी के अंतरिक्ष ज्ञान को, आत्मा राम के रंगीन कांच को, चंद्रशेखर के खगोल विज्ञान को। राधा कृष्ण की सांख्यिकी को जानो, रामन्ना सेठना की परमाणु ऊर्जा को, माशेलकर के रसायन शास्त्र को, वेणु बप्पू की दूरबीन को। जय जवान जय किसान के संग अब बोलो जय विज्ञान की, विज्ञानी की जय बोलो, बोलो जय अनुसंधान की। अब्दुल कलाम की मिसाइल को समझो, जयंत के खगोल को, हिंदुजा इंदिरा के भ्रूण विज्ञान को, भारत के इतिहास भूगोल को। डीआरडीओ के सुरक्षा चक्र को समझो, सतीश रेड्डी के काम को, होल्डेन की जीव मिति को, वशिष्ठ नारायण के गणना ज्ञान को। हरित क्रांति के जनक को जानो, एम.एस. स्वामीनाथन को, श्वेत क्रांति के जनक को मानो, वी कुरियन महान को। हरित क्रांति के जनक को जानो, एम.एस. स्वामीनाथन को, श्वेत क्रांति के जनक को मानो, वी कुरियन महान को। आईआईएससी के काम को समझो, गोविंदन रंगराजन को, इसरो के अभियान को जानो, के शिवन की उड़ान को। भारत के भूगर्भ को समझो, भारत के खगोल को, देश के इतिहास को जानो, देश के भूगोल को। जय जवान जय किसान के संग अब बोलो जय विज्ञान की, विज्ञानी की जय बोलो, बोलो जय अनुसंधान की, जय बोलो अनुसंधान की, जय बोलो हिंदुस्तान की। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful poem. All of us enjoyed it thoroughly. For our last segment today, we have a short documentary prepared by Sayak and Shubham from TY that will take us through a journey of the genesis of our Indian Constitution, narrated by Sayak himself and yours truly, me, Anushka. All the videos used to make this video have been taken from various news archives, websites, and our dear friend Google. And the music used as a backing track is all being used for educational purposes only. I will now begin sharing the video.
This is the Constitution of India. It was adopted on 26 November 1949 and came into effect on 26 January 1950. The Constitution gives to the citizens of India justice, equality, liberty, and the endeavor to promote fraternity amongst themselves. It is the document that gives us our rights and duties. The word constitution has been derived from the Latin word constituo, used for regulations and orders such as imperial enactments. The Indian Constitution is the world's longest constitution. At its commencement, it had 395 articles in 22 parts and 8 schedules. It consists of 80,000 words, making it the second largest active constitution in the world.
The process of evolution of the Constitution began decades before India gained independence in 1947. Its origins lie deeply embedded in the struggle for independence from Britain and the movement that led to it. The story started in the 1600s when the Britishers came to India as traders. The British East India Company annexed India in the early 18th century. The company rule started in 1773 and ended in 1858. the company had passed acts such as the Regulating Act of 1773, the Pitt's India Act of 1784, the Charter Acts of 1833 and 1853. Thereafter began the Crown Rule. The Crown Rule between 1858 and 1947 also witnessed a plethora of different acts, such as the Indian Council Acts of 1861, 1892 and 1909, the Governments of India Acts of 1858, 1919 and 1935, and Indian Independence Act of 1947.
In 1858, after the revolt of 1857, the British Crown assumed direct responsibility for governance of India. On November the 1st, 1858, Queen Victoria held the Great Darbar in Allahabad. Lord Canning set forth the royal proclamation, which announced that the Queen had assumed the governance of India. This led to the Government of India Act of 1858, which abolished the East India Company. This was the first big step to proper governance of India.
During this time, journalist and editor of Hindu Patriot, Harish Chandra Mukherjee, wrote an article regarding the formation of the Indian Parliament. These developments led to the formation of the Indian Council Acts 1861 and 1892. Subsequently, the Indian Council Act 1909 was passed in an attempt to widen the scope of the Legislative Council, pacify the INC moderates, and increase participation of Indians. At the time, the Secretary of the State was with Lord Morley, and the Governor General was Lord Minto. The Act enlarged the size of both central and provincial legislative council. It also introduced discriminatory electorates. Fun fact, Satyendra Prasad Sinha was the first Indian to join Viceroy's Executive Council. After this, there came a host of other acts like the 1919 Montford's Reforms, which introduced diarchy and increased Indians in administration.
The leaders of national movements started demanding for grants of responsible government in India from 1890 onwards, and by 1916, the voice of desire to have a constitution was loud and clear. In response to this, the British government appointed an all-white Simon Commission in November 1927 to recommend changes in the formation of the constitution. The Secretary of State for India was Lord Birkenhead, who threw a challenge to the congressmen to prepare a draft of the Constitution of India. The political leaders accepted the challenge, gave birth to the Nehru Report, and this was followed by a call for all-party conference in February and May 1928.
While the leaders were gearing up to create the Constitution, the British government brought the Government of India Act 1935. It was the longest act enacted by them at that time. The Congress totally rejected this act and contested the provincial legislature for the demand of a new constituent assembly. This idea was first put forward by M.N. Roy in 1934. Until 1st May 1945, progress was slow and tedious. After July 1945, the Cabinet Mission drafted a constitution team. This unfortunately did not work, and this proved that the British reluctantly agreed to the idea of the Constituent Assembly and were not serious about its implementation. The Congress Party started on a fresh note and initiated the individual civil disobedience movement as a sign of protest. This came soon after the 1942 Crisps Mission, which stated that the framing of the Indian Constitution would be the sole responsibility of the Indians alone.
In July 1946, a committee consisting of Nehru as chairman and many other eminent members was constituted to prepare materials and proposals for framing the Constitution. The first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held in the Constitution Hall, which is now known as the Central Hall of the Parliament House. On 11th December, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was chosen by election as the first permanent chairman of the Assembly. In the first meeting, the 207 members, all 200 men and 7 women, submitted their credentials and signed the register. The Constituent Assembly then embarked on a long journey of 2 years, 11 months, and 17 days to complete its historic task of drafting the Constitution. During this period, it held 11 sessions over 165 days.
After Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru set forward the Objectives Resolution on 13th December 1946, which was unanimously adopted by the Constituent Assembly, on the eve of 14th August 1947, the Assembly met at the Constituent Hall and at the stroke of midnight took over as the Legislative Assembly of Independent India.
On 29th August 1947, the Constituent Assembly set up a drafting committee under chairmanship of B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft of the Constitution. While doing so, the drafting committee moved, discussed and disposed of 2,473 amendments.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, also known as Baba Saheb Ambedkar, was one of the architects of the Indian Constitution. Dr. Ambedkar fought to eradicate the social evils like untouchability. He fought for the rights of Dalits and other socially backward classes throughout his life. He was posthumously awarded the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor, in 1990. Here is a rare clip of him speaking passionately in the Constituent Assembly 1946.
Paragraph 3 envisages the future Constitution of India. I do not know what is the intention of the mover of the resolution, but I take it that it is a sort of, after this resolution is passed, it will act as a sort of a directive to the Constituent Assembly to frame the Constitution in terms of
The Constitution was finally adopted on 26 November 1949. All 284 members then present signed on the Constitution. The then President of Indonesia, Sukarno, was the first guest of honor for the Republic Day celebration in 1950. Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada brought the Constitution to life in the best calligraphic tradition of our country. Nandalal Bose took up the task of beautifying the original copy. These original copies of the Constitution are now kept in a special helium-filled cases in the Parliament's library. The Constitution was finally implemented on 26 January 1950, the first Republic Day, after a long struggle filled with sweat, blood, disagreements, and a lot of hard work.
We will now end with a special clip from 26th January 1950. Thank you so much for watching.
संबद्ध कर अधिनियमित किया गया।
On and from this, the 26th day of January 1950, India, that is Bharat, shall be a sovereign, democratic republic, and the Union and its component parts, the states, shall exercise all powers and functions of government and administration in accordance with the provisions of the said Constitution.
Okay, so on that note, that's a wrap on everything we curated for everyone present here today. Now that we're at the end of this program, I'd like to thank the principal, the vice principals, all our professors present here today. For an event to run like clockwork, it takes a lot of wheels and cogs to grind together to make a smooth running cycle. Yes, the events have been wonderfully presented, and all the people who have strived to make this possible really deserve a big hug and thanks. The entire organizing committee, our performers, Siddhi for her beautiful song, Shrishti for her poem, Kia for her Kathak performance, Bhagwati sir for his poem, and Sayak and Shubham for the video. And you, dear viewers, for joining us in today. Have a fantastic day and stay safe. And once again, a very, very happy Republic Day.
Thank you, Anushka. Thank you, Ashma ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Wonderful program.
Thanks. Wonderful job, Anushka. That was a good documentary. Very well done.
Very well done. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.